Hey, welcome back to the show, guys. On today's show, I want to discuss something I learned from my school that I think can apply to new people getting into ham radio as well as seasoned ham operators. I also want to give a little update on yesterday's video about that end-fed half wave that we built. And that's going to be right here, right now on ham radio for non-techies. Welcome back to Ham Radio for Non-Techies, guys, where we try to get you to study for and pass your exams so you can become a ham radio operator and enjoy the hobby as much as we do. Like I said today, I want to cover a couple different little topics real quick. But first, I want to make a quick mention. I really appreciate the new Patreon patrons that have come out and signed up to support the channel. If you want to join the Patreon group, it's patreon.com/HR4NT. And for as little as $3 a month, you can support the channel, which helps me get the supplies and things I need to build cool little things to show you guys for future shows. So if that's something that's of interest to you, please feel free to sign up to help support the channel. It helps me create new videos and helps me to bring information to you guys. Okay, so real quick, let's get the stuff from yesterday's video out of the way. As you know, we built that little end-fed half-wave antenna, and I had shot it in a series of like weeks or two, and when I did it, I had a couple snafus that really screwed things up for me. It was my fault. If you watch the video when I was telling you about the longer wire from the 18 turns we did on the toroid, I said that was the input wire. That was actually the output wire. And what I did not do, and I'll reference it up here, if you look at the image in the instructions, you need to make sure you wind this thing in the direction that they do in the video. If you do it the other way, because I'm used to winding my toroids a certain way, and I've always done it that way, but this one's particular because you're putting it into a PCB board that has specific slots for the different 3 wires you're going to have in the end of it. So I had gotten them backwards, and in doing so, I kind of screwed myself, and that's why my first antenna had an SWR of 15 because my polarity was off or whatever. So pay really close attention. If you're going to build this antenna, make sure you wind it and make sure when you hold your toroid up at the end that your 3 little wires look exactly like they do in the picture. Doesn't matter how many windings you do, it's the direction of the winding. I used to go from, I used to go in a clockwise pattern when I wind toroids. This one, you have to go in a counterclockwise pattern. So keep that in mind if you're going to build this. Super simple build, and I'll tell you, I didn't say this yesterday. I probably should have. I'm just trying to make up for yesterday's video a little bit. If you're a new ham or somebody who has basic soldering skills, this is an excellent little antenna for you to build as a first build. It's not difficult. Like I said, it took me about 15-20 minutes to build it, and you can build it for multiple bands. You can build it for one single band, whatever you want to do. But either way, it's a really cool little antenna. And the fact that I got down to 1.1 to 1, I probably could have got down a little bit more if I just kind of messed with going, by inches and stuff. But 1.1 to 1 on SWR ratio is pretty fantastic for any antenna. Ask any seasoned ham about that. So, okay. So what I want to go to next is, as some of you know, I'm in school right now. I'm taking a course. I'm learning day trading. I'm getting out of the web design world and the SEO marketing stuff and just trying to focus on something I can do in my own free time that doesn't take up a whole lot of my day and makes a really good amount of money if I execute proper trades. So one of the things that we've learned in our group, and this gets thrown and pushed or rammed down our throat quite a bit, that I think also applies to new hams and even seasoned hams. When you first get into the hobby, the idea, oh yeah, ham radio is great. Ham radio is great. Well, I did a video a while back, and I'll post it up here. Keep forgetting my directions here. I'll post a video up here on mic fright. And people get into the hobby, and then they forget, oh, I have to actually talk into this thing to make contact, which, should be a given. But sometimes people forget that, and they might not have the wherewithal to just jump on a mic and start talking into a radio and talk to some complete stranger wherever, across the city, across the state, across the world, whatever. I want to impart upon you the 4 C's that I learned in school that I think apply to ham radio operators, both old and new. And that is be calm, be certain, be confident, and be committed. You need to set small goals when you first get into ham radio. It can be very overwhelming to get into the hobby and realize there's all these things you can do. You know, you have VHF, UHF, you have HF, you have antenna building, you have satellite tracking and satellite, you know, making contacts with satellites, Earth, Moon, Earth. There's so much stuff. The digital modes, parks on the air, summits on the air, islands on the air, you know, whatever you want to do. And it can get very overwhelming very quickly. So my suggestion is, if you're getting into this hobby and you're brand new, and this is mainly for new people, because you don't really know yet what you're getting into, and with experience, you will learn these things. Start off with small, attainable goals. Like, first of all, study and pass your technician. If you are a little more apt to the technical side, maybe study for your technician and general at the same time. Take both the tests, get them out of the way. Or if you're a superstar, do all three. Get technician, general, and extra. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but I've heard of people as young as 12 years old walking in with nothing and walking out an extra. So if they can do it, I think most people probably can. Or at least you can give it a shot. It never hurts to give it a shot. But at the very least, get your license, and then, you know, have a plan of what you want to do. You're going to start off, most likely, if you're just a technician, you might just start off with an HT. Find a decent quality HT. I know people like to push the cheaper ones, and that's great if you want something that's throwaway. If you want something reliable that's going to be good forever, you know, skip that. I always tell you guys to buy once, cry once, and not settle for second best. If your goal's up here, don't settle for something down here or down here. Get what you want. If it takes an extra week or two to save up for it, who cares? Radio's not going anywhere. So save your money, get the thing you actually want. You'll be a lot happier in the future. That's just my personal preference, my personal strategy for what I do in ham radio. Now, as you progress along, you will find things that interest you. And as you find those interests and walk down those different paths, you're going to need new equipment, new antennas. You're going to have, you know, there'll be different things you're going to have to learn and to attain those small goals. But they are very attainable. Just do it with calm, confident, committed, and, what was the other one here? Confident, committed, and be certain of what you're doing, so that you have a clear direction in which way you want to go with ham radio. I know it's difficult if you're not a socialite or you're not very outgoing to jump on a radio and just start calling out CQ or trying to make a contact to somebody out in the ether somewhere and hope that somebody picks up. Then what do you talk to them about? If you're new, my suggestion is to just keep it simple. A lot of times, you know, the older hams that are getting on that you might make a contact with might just want to, you know, start the conversation with, oh, what kind of radio you're using? They'll find out that you're a new guy. You let them know, hey, I'm brand new to ham radio. It's my first contact, you know, and let the conversation go where it may. That might just be, you know, them asking you what kind of radio you're using. Do you have any special antennas? You know, how long have you been in the hobby? What are your aspirations? Things like that. And just have a simple conversation. You don't have to sit there and pour out your whole life story to them. At least get that confidence building up so that when you want to do something bigger, like you don't want to just jump into like parks on the air. You're going to find out really quick how crazy parks on the air can get for you if you're not used to making contacts and used to the different little things. And like everything else in the world or in life, it takes practice. When you go out and do parks on the air the first time, you start calling out CQ POTA, and try and make contacts, you're going to get a pileup. There are a lot of people out there that love to hunt POTA parks and activators that are trying to activate a park. So you'll get 10 or 15 people all blaring their call sign. You're going to hear just a mess of letters and numbers. You have to kind of pick out one or two that stick out in your mind and then say, hey, you know, whoever had the NL's call sign, please come back. And that person will come back. You talk to them. But the second you finish that contact and say, hey, you know, QRZ and your call sign, parks on the air, it's going to come back. And that might be overwhelming for some people. You will get over it. You will get used to it, and it'll become part of the fun you'll be looking forward to. You'll actually want the pileups because they're just fun. It means people are out there doing stuff. They're out there playing radio with you, and you're exchanging your signal reports with them. They're exchanging signal reports with you, which tells you about your equipment and what you need to improve, or how good or bad your equipment might be. You know, maybe you need a better antenna, maybe you need a little more power. You know, and people will let you know based on those signal reports what goes on with that. And there's also other things. Like I said, you can go into something simple where you don't have to talk to anybody, like FT8. You just set up a couple programs, which would be WSJTX and Grid Tracker, and have your radio plugged into your computer and let the computers talk to each other. You just kind of set it up and sit back and watch and kind of just learn. And again, you'll learn about propagation. You'll see different little things. So, you know, find what interests you in radio and attain each little goal. Once you get that goal, stay there for a little while, perfect it, and starts getting a little boring, find something new you like. Either way, you're playing radio and you're always constantly learning. Like me, when I first got into it, I didn't know what I didn't know. And, you know, I made a couple mistakes in some of my earlier videos when I started the channel, which might have been a little premature, but I'm glad I did it the way I did because it taught me to fix those mistakes over the years now. And now I've gotten a lot better than what I was doing earlier. But I like building antennas. I love building antennas. No matter how many end-fed half waves I've got downstairs, and there's quite a few of them, whenever something new comes along that's small or has some little gimmicky thing about it, there's something cool about it, I like building them. It's one of the things I like to do because I get to sit downstairs in my shack, bring out my soldering iron, all my tools, which I love tools. Any guy any guy in the world loves tools, right? And I get to build these things and then go out and test them. And it just still, the newness of building your first antenna has never escaped me. Whenever I build an antenna, go out and test it, get the SWR where I want it, and go and make contacts with it, I'm still amazed and blown away that, hey, I built this, whether I bought it in kit form or just decided to piece something together myself and build my own antenna on my own design. But either way, I'm still amazed by that and that it works. And that's what keeps me happy and in the hobby. You know, as far as radios go, I don't really buy many radios anymore. I've got the ones I want. I mean, the one I really want is like $5,000. But I'm happy with the radios that I've got. And I've got a decent little selection of different radios with my 705, my 891. I got two 7300s. That's pretty much it, besides all the HTs. And I got just a crap load of antennas. But I like switching it up every once in a while because I'll grab my Go box, which has my 891 in it. I'll take that out and go do some parks on the air stuff. There's other times when I bring out my 7300 and use that. The 705 I like having just because it's really small and portable, but I'm limited to 10 watts, whereas the other ones are 100-watt rigs. So you just got to find what's going to make you happy and what you can safely and calmly utilize in the hobby that's going to work for you. What works for me may not work for you, and that's fine. Everybody makes ham radio their own with the things that interest them and the things that they pursue within the hobby. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had, guys. I just want to make a quick little video here. Again, you know, go get tested, go and take your test, take your exam or exams, and get out there in the community. You know, I always talk about the online ham radio community, especially with the YouTubers, you know, my fellow YouTubers and stuff, Ham Radio 2.0, and of course, Josh over at Ham Radio Crash Course. Excellent platforms for people that are new to come in and watch and learn and ask questions and just have a fellowship of people that are there to help you, not ridicule you or talk down to you or treat you like you're some kind of a moron. So I highly encourage you, if you're getting into ham radio, you're new in this hobby, and you're looking for your home, so to speak, then give the platforms a shot. Try the different YouTube channels out there, and come ask me questions. I got a whole website dedicated to you guys that helps you guys find stuff and get all the resources you need. I'm constantly adding new stuff, and that's hamradiofornontechies.com, which I'll put the URL up here. So go check that out. That website's great. Not just toot my own horn here. I put a lot of work into that site, and I'm constantly adding new stuff and trying to add more articles and more build videos and things like that. But get involved. Be part of the community, contribute stuff, ask questions. The only way you're going to learn stuff is to ask questions. I mean, when I first got started, and the reason why this channel exists is I could not find the simple answers to the questions that I had, and at the time I didn't know what questions to ask. So this channel was formed because as I started learning things and started finding the answers to the questions I needed, I wanted to relay that to other new people so that they could also find out the information that they need without pulling their hair out. So anyway, guys, let's wrap this up here. I'll make a really long video, but I appreciate everybody for watching today. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithm show my video to more people that are interested in ham radio, as well as just gets the videos out there. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Subscriptions are free. It helps us support the channel. Again, it lets me know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out, and I always like to make sure that I'm putting out relevant and good quality value in my content. I don't want to just put up a video about the newest gadget that came out, if it's not something I think is useful to you guys, I'm not going to talk about it. There's plenty of other channels out there that do that, and that's great for them. I want to try to bring you guys things that will really make you think and, you know, get into you so that you can make better decisions and more informed decisions on what you're going to do as a ham radio operator. So until then, guys, I appreciate your time to watch. We'll see you next time. My name is Scott. My call sign is KI5NPL. This is Ham Radio for Non-Techies, and we are clear.